that's fine. All right, we're being recorded. Okay. All right. To 5:45 call to order. Roll call. Call board members first. All right. Board member Underhill. Here. Board member Corey. Here. Board member Rector. Here. Board member Snow. Here. Board member Coleman. Here. Board member Robbins. Here. We have one spot on this board available. Okay, one minute. Because Noah's no longer on the board. Who's that? Noah Baker. Oh, yeah. Cheese. Oh, moved heavily. Yeah. And none of the people applied. The guy that was here that said he was going to join. No, Larry. No, not that I know of. I haven't heard anything. Okay. All right. Well, where are the minutes? We have to approve them. I don't have the minutes. I typed them for you, sir. I'll have to find them. I'll have to find those. I apologize. Okay, moving on to the further of the agenda. We're going to talk about three things: the Riverwalk, the skate park, and the athletic field. Yeah. Okay. All right. The Riverwalk this fall. Wait a minute. Oh. Public comment. We need your names and your interests.
Sure. Emily, Emily. Emerson Rich, Emersen -RICH. And I live at 616 Union Street. My interest is, I know that out by St. Mary's Cemetery, there used to be an old poorhouse and cemetery. And I'm wondering if that's something that the city can work with either the county or the state to get some sort of marker. I know they have one in Lansing, one in Jackson, other areas. According to Find a Grave website, there's about 300 memorials that are there. So I know that we are having some new construction expansion that's going to be close to that area. So that is a concern that we want to make sure that that cemetery is not disturbed in any way. Okay. Lots of children are in that as well. So the other concern or the other thing that I had was we are fairly new to the area. We're just 3 years here, but I know that we have a lot of great trails that are going to be worked on. I'm sure that's what we're going to be talking about with Riverwalk. And I'm wondering, is it in our future plans also to help connect to the east, west, north, south trails? Because I know there's trails that are going all over that would get us statewide. So that's just some of my things that I'm going to bring to the attention of the board today. Thank you.
Okay. Let's start with the Riverwalk. Yes. Yeah. So the Riverwalk this fall, it was in disrepair. We shut down the Riverwalk, and I don't know if anybody's been on there, but we did redo pretty much everything from Stewart's Landing to halfway through to South Marshall Ave. That project cost about $340,000 for a total rebuild on that section. The section past that, going all the way to South Marshall, is also getting to the point where it's not unsafe yet, but we're trying to not let it get unsafe. So, City Council last week approved that us go for a DNR trust fund grant for a total of $400,000, $200,000 from the city, and then with a match of $200,000 from the DNR. If we're successful with that, then we'll go for another grant, a community grant of hopefully $200,000 or $600,000 total, and that'll replace, but I believe the rest of that section, or we'll get as far as we can with $600,000. After that, we continue down, but as you know, it's, I don't know, a mile worth of trail, and it's all pushing 20 to almost 30 years old. And this section over here is still pretty darn good. I mean, there's some spots that are some boards are broke, which we'll replace this spring. But overall, it's still pretty good, but we want to have a plan in place as stuff starts to fail, so we can get right on it rather than have to shut it down for months on end, find the money, then go. So we're just coming up with a plan. The first one is the DNR. After that, I really don't know. I mean, where do you come up with $1 million every year? Because that's what it's basically costing to decrease pretty small sections.
Do they think along these posts, do they think of putting something on top of them so they don't rot as fast, like a cap?
We haven't really, but we have caps at the same type of post, 6x6 post at Kids Kingdom, and they typically are broken and whatever else, so, but yeah, I mean, I can definitely look into it and see.
It just seems a major
Yeah,
rot is on.
well, the same thing has happened out at Brooks Nature area also at the pavilion, some of those are starting to rot out too, so yeah, I'll definitely, take a look at that.
Who's writing the DNR grant?
MCSA.
Who's that?
It's our architecture company that we worked with on the Riverwalk. They designed and helped us get the first section done. They're the ones that are doing the pickleball courts.
Where are they located?
Grand Rapids. It's MCSA. Yeah, her father built the first section or designed the first section of the Riverwalk.
Same materials?
Yeah. Well, same materials as in
Is it,
what they just put in, like the rest of it will match.
is that the polymer or?
It's Trex,
Okay,
I think it's the highest end of Trex you can get.
Yeah.
With the hopes of it lasting.
so it doesn't run, yeah.
But yeah, I mean, one thing that really destroys it is trees.
Oh,
Trees coming down and sticks and people.
I was gonna say, what was the main cause? Rot was the main cause?
Rot underneath, it was the rot of the post. Cause
So
they
is-
sit in water.
Is the Trex is the Trex in the,
No, Trex is not, it's still gonna be the post. But I mean, going with something else, it's going to like almost double the cost, I believe. So
so we just, wood planks was double the cost?
wood post,
Okay, but for the boarding, I guess.
the boarding is, the Trex should never have to be replaced unless it's broken. So yeah, so we're hoping to come up with a plan so we can replace all that throughout the years over the next. Hopefully the main section down there lasts another 20 years and then we're ready to get going on that. Any questions on Riverwalk?
Is any of the money that we're raising now is going from DNR grant in the city that we put towards like maintenance?
Every new project, we're supposed to have a 10% maintenance fund on that, so yes. Do the DNR one, yes, we will have a 10% on that one.
is that like stuff, is it stashed and tagged for us, like tag for Riverwalk, and so as it accumulates, then it automatically is available? Is that the way they do that?
I don't know that answer,
Okay,
the directors would have a better answer for you,
okay,
and they're not here.
okay.
Justin, just a quick question. Since the grants that you're going for look like, the state grants are state. And, community grants will be from the foundation and others here. So we probably won't be affected by some of the federal things that are happening.
Oh, I mean, yeah, we shouldn't be, I mean, but I would say no.
Yeah, which is encouraging.
Yeah,
The trust fund grants are, that's all from Michigan's national,
Yeah, right.
revenue. And that was really a progressive thing founded years and years ago. It used to be called the Kerry Kammer Trust Fund. They named it after a legislator who was wise enough to come up with that. So that's been a great fund for trails, parks.
and I believe the majority of the Riverwalk was funded through the DNR, the trust fund. I believe a lot of, I know there was
Yeah,
$1 million, 20+ years ago. And that is done in 3 phases, I think.
yeah, and that fund is going well.
Yeah, yep.
Okay, go to B, skate park.
Skate park, so our skate park, as always, is in ruins, it's old, there was never any money set aside for it, most of the, maintenance that was done to it was done through volunteer groups, back when Dark Horse was, very involved with it, the original Dark Horse, people. Here about 3 or 4 years ago, I think, we wrote a grant to Cronin. And we got it, it was 40,000, but we had to have 40,000 matching. The city at that time was not in as good a shape. They didn't set aside $40,000 to match that grant, so that grant ended up going back. I believe is what happened, and so it just sat there, and finally, council is now wanting to put money towards our parks a little bit, it seems like. So we are writing a grant that will be submitted tomorrow to the Cronin Foundation for $50,000 with a $50,000 match from the city. To hopefully make it a nice skate park again. The skate park, we're gonna tear down all of the fencing around it, so it's not a prison look. I've always hated that prison look, like stay out of here and whatever else, but so I've been in small discussions with American Ramp Company about what we can get for $100,000. They're supposed to be sending me some renderings here. They're supposed to be last week, so I'll have to get after them again of what we can get and different designs, what we can do. With that being said, we will be looking forward to start a small group for the skate park to come up with ideas and kind of reach out to skaters and whoever else we can to come up with ideas and how we can maintain stuff and just different ideas, have buy-in from the community. So hopefully we get that grant and we can make that skate park look a little nicer and more usable.
Who's gonna write this grant?
I did.
Okay, do you know there's this National Skate Park Association that gives out grants?
I did not know that. I mean, I've seen it before. But
It's I can't think of his name now.
Tony Hawk.
Oh, Tony Hawk
Hawk's
Foundation? Yes, I've looked into that here and there. And talking with the ramp company, he said $100,000 is a good start. He said we should probably phase this out, so maybe that would be a good grant to go after we started making this better.
Okay.
But yeah,
Do we have any idea how utilized it is?
what's that?
Do we have any idea how utilized that park is?
Pretty well.
I was
Yeah.
Cause when I was teaching, you always see kids bring their skateboards. Then it kind of dwindled a little bit and we're trying to work, yeah.
There's always
There's
somebody
somebody
down
out
there.
there right now.
There's always somebody down there. I mean, it's not overrun with people, I wouldn't say, but there's always
Oh,
somebody
yeah.
in or around that park.
And I wouldn't say the people that are skaters are skate people, they're pretty good kids.
Yeah, everybody I've met in the skating community has been great. And like the vandalism that happens there is not the skaters.
Right.
I wouldn't say. I mean, maybe here and there it's a group that gets a little rambunctious, but overall it's the same kids that are spray painting my bathrooms and stealing all my toilet paper or clogging my toilets. It's just mischief
And then are we looking to have the exact same skate park that's there now, but just
No.
new?
just newish. It'll be, I mean, designed a little different, but it's gonna be the same type of like half pipes and whatever else. They'll be sending us different renderings of what we can do in there.
So the reason that there was the fence around it though was to keep out the bikes.
Correct.
And that's no longer, it's a wheel park.
I mean, if we're gonna, we'll just service a bigger group of people.
Right, yeah, no, I get that, I just wanted to make sure that we were, that we
Yes.
understood that
No,
the
it's
reason.
all wheels park, because now you'll see a lot of people rollerblades, roller skates here and there.
Even the scooters.
Yeah, those little scooters, those little
And,
scooters.
Yeah.
I see scooters down there.
And they all seem to, when I've been down there, they all seem to get along pretty well. Like, it's like, all right, it's here for us and it works, so,
Subcategory or subcategory under this is, since the city is going to take some chances, maybe they could open the restroom over there then.
Marcia, her and I have talked about that a little bit. We're gonna dig into that a little
telling
bit.
you, I had it freshly painted the week before you closed it. So it
Should
was
be-
all painted inside and out.
So,
Plumbing still work?
that's our.
Oh, no, but.
That's the fears
Yeah.
they threw concrete down the toilets is what, I don't know if that's true or not, I haven't been in there.
Well, I think one of the toilets was broken, but.
You can fix a broken toilet,
Yeah.
so it's the innards and see how much money, but yes, that's, Marcia and I have been talking about that.
Okay, good.
To look into this spring, just to kind of get a price tag on it to see if that is something we can do.
And it's a long way. If you're walking,
Oh, for
if
sure.
you're walking the island or if you've got little kids, it's really hard to make it all the way
Sure.
over to the other side.
And if not, maybe,
Nobody ever makes it past the bridge. The sound of running water.
if,
You think that's, makes you think that's funny.
It's true.
You see people coming off that bridge all the time and disappearing right down to the creek, and they're running. So, you see a lot when you work at that damn park. You see-
Yeah, I know. Well,
Skateboarding, you know, the key, some of the key people were Brian and Matt Huggett.
Yeah.
And so they were really involved in the rebuilds this last couple of years. And they're familiar with some of the guys from Dark Horse, so they were also involved. But you could call either Brian or Matt and they'd give you.
I didn't
a good
know
look.
Brian was involved in that.
You know,
yeah.
they defended it a lot, especially when it was starting.
Good to know.
To go.
And a couple years ago, I was talking with, he's a pro skater that uses our skate park, and he still said, even 2 years ago, he goes, it's still one of the nicer skate parks because of the certain ramps we had. So I used his name in the grant I wrote, and I still have his number, so I'll get over to him again to see if there's anything that's changed, but the last rendering we had was cool. He was like, yeah, this is perfect. So we're gonna kind of go with that route of right now and see what else they can use. But it's a steel type of ramp structure. So the company told me, they said it lasts the longest, best bang for your buck.
Oh, yeah, because the wood rotted, that was.
It does. I mean, it still lasted 20 years.
Yeah.
You know, so I mean, if you get something that lasts 20 years, it's still pretty good. It's not concrete. Concrete's gonna last you a lot longer, but you're gonna pay,
A lot more,
I don't know how much more, but a lot.
especially now.
And typically
Construction
a
expense.
concrete course is in a bowl rather than up, so you don't have to have the backing and all that, so. We're hoping, I mean, it's good to see that city council is wanting to put a little bit of money towards our failing parks. Failing parks are, parks that are getting a little rundown, so.
Our older parts.
Right.
The Tony Hawk, skate park project, looks like they would give out 25,000. You can apply on a rolling basis and they meet quarterly to decide if you get it.
And where is it at?
The Tony Hawk.
Oh, Tony Hawk, okay.
I'm on their email list, all the time, but nobody's wanted to do anything with the park.
Does anybody here know of any skaters?
Yeah, I'm,
Do you?
I used to work in the cannabis industry and
Sure.
they all worked in that industry
Okay.
and learn, so
Perfect.
Should pull them on the renders.
I will get the word out.
Yeah, that's kind of what my thought was, is kind of get some examples and go like, what was good to you, what do you want to take out, what can we put in?
I mean, looking to form a board, going forward
That's my,
to manage. that.
correct.
Okay.
Yep. And with that, this grant, so we'll have really like $90,000 to go towards equipment, and we'll have that $10,000 as a maintenance.
Okay, I'm gonna take a pause really quick and introduce Ian Campbell. He's chairman of the Marshall Area Conservation Committee, so I'm gonna jot that down as some new business as well. MACC.
Thank you, Mitch.
Okay. Okay, go ahead with Marshall Athletic Field expansion.
The March Athletic Field Expansion Project, also known around as the Eden Park Project, which is the pickleballs and splash pad. Down behind the ball fields, next to the sand volleyball courts. We're just about ready to sign the contract after the attorney looks over the contract to start construction on that renovation. At the beginning of April this year. So here in another month, basically, we're gonna start on that project with the plan is to be done with that fall of this year.
Okay, could you outline what is, because the last time we met, there was some things that were and weren't gonna be in and.
We didn't go with any of the extras for that,
Okay.
addendum, whatever, however many there were on there, I think there's 3 different ones, we're going just with the base bid.
Okay, so the base bid was.
6 pickleball
Six
court,
pickleball.
parking lot, fencing. A bathroom, a 4-room bathroom. So each individual stalls with changing tables and then 2 of them being accessible. There'll be a pavilion with a wind shade or what is it called?
The awning.
Yeah, whatever, there, sunshade, there you go, sunshade, couldn't think. With that, benches around, landscaping. With the option in the future to have 2 more courts put in.
And so no splash pad.
Yo, splash pad, yes. Oh, splash pad, I'm sorry, yes.
I was like, yeah, he's great, spend some of the smaller stuff, like, this one I didn't splash.
No, we're good. No, splash pad is a go, so the
And-
total cost of the project was about 2.1 million, something like that.
It'll be done in the fall,
Who's
Should be
doing
done
the
in the fall.
landscape?
right time to play.
The landscaping, the whole project is being done by Freedom Construction out of Grand Rapids.
Are they even required to do native plant landscaping?
I don't know that answer.
We need to know that, because that needs to be native.
Well, it needs to be stuff that doesn't produce leaves and trash and seed.
And I know that's been talked about,
Wasn't it the Freedom one?
Freedom Construction, I believe.
Grand Rapids?
Yeah, I think that's what it was.
No basketball courts.
No basketball courts.
Are the courts gonna have fencing in between?
Yes. They'll lift up, there'll be like a 3-inch gap or whatever, however the balls can get through the wind. Whatever it's gonna be, and then you can use a blower to get the leaves out and whatever debris else in there. We'll have somebody pretty much doing that daily. And, or if someone brings their own blower down here or there, but yeah.
Can we recommend Barberry and multiple rows? Keep those people
Yeah, right.
on the damn court.
Yeah. So yeah, that's exciting that we're actually, this 5-year project will break ground.
Yeah, that is.
This year and we will be going out for some more dollars through the patronicity grant, which will be starting, we're doing our final write-up on that, and whatever else we need to do, and that is a community funding grant for $100,000, so we need to raise $50,000 throughout the community, and they'll match it with $50,000. That goes
For what?
What's that?
What's the 50,000 for?
It's a patronicity grant, and this is gonna go towards the courts.
Oh,
We're not 100% funded.
You haven't got 2 million.
We are, I mean, the city has earmarked enough money to cover the project. But we're trying to fundraise some more.
Yeah,
Save the city some money.
well, that's a lot of work. Yeah, so.
Other basketball courts, really not gonna be a thing, it's like high consideration for this go.
For this go around, that's okay.
okay, we're gonna go on to new business now. And we're gonna start with St. Mary's Poorhouse gravesite. So I've got that, there's 300 memorials and there's some construction plans near the,
203 memorial sites according to Find a Grave website.
oh, okay.
Is that one by, kind of highlight? Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah.
That's what they're saying, we're not sure.
It's still an active cemetery, isn't
Oh,
Yes.
it? Yeah.
St.
And that
Mary's.
is city limits? That's just inside city limits or is it just outside?
I think so they're close.
Okay.
I don't know.
The poorhouse cemetery, at the poorhouse and the cemetery, not all of it's marked, like most of them, if it doesn't have a sign. And it has to maintain grass is over it, so you might not even see the markers, but according to the website, it's there.
St. Mary's Cemetery.
No,
The
the
poorhouse
cemetery.
cemetery.
Yeah.
It's not attached to the St. Mary's Cemetery.
No.
Where is the poorhouse cemetery?
My fellow resident.
Okay,
Sent
I
me
thought
a
it was
photo,
there.
so I can.
So you're talking about the construction that's going in behind the, what is that, the Polo Club Apartments?
Right.
Yeah.
Road.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh.
the one that the city said there's gonna be some
Yeah.
clearing in that
Yeah.
area it's like in between that area, I believe, is what I'm gathering from the photos that were sent to me by this other residents that are concerned. I haven't had eyes on it to see exactly, but it looks like it's somewhere in there and it might be getting kind of close, so that's the concern is that if you don't know it's there, you don't know.
May have a surprise at the back.
You know.
Right.
We don't want that, you know, it's also. Right.
You know, I've never, that over there, are there trees in the cemetery?
I haven't known about it.
Not in the cemetery area, but there's trees, like a wooded area behind it, and so there's some of that is gonna be affected to that new.
Are they removing those yet, or?
That's the
Well, they're gonna
city,
start.
the city put it on their, Marguerite posted yesterday
So
or
is-
the day before.
I forgot where it is.
Oh, that's not,
Oh,
it's not there.
So it's right over by St. Mary's.
I'm looking at St. Mary's.
Isn't that off
No,
O'Keefe?
that's off of O'Keefe. The tree removal is, a completely different area. Not
Well,
where
no,
St.
she's saying O'Keefe is right behind St. Mary's.
Right.
It's small.
It is? No, no.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You just don't think of it because in your backyard, there's no way to get out.
Right, take them out and get it.
Right.
Oh, I
So-
see, yeah.
I don't know, Will, where you're saying, it's not St. Mary's up there, where is it exactly?
okay.
So it's at the far end of it.
North.
You're saying it's like,
Right.
Yeah.
I can see St. Mary's right here.
So if you're looking like.
Like St. Mary's there.
Do you remember the name of the historian that's on the Maida?
Yeah, Mace
That's
still
both
feed
of
it, St.
them.
Mary's.
Historian.
Hopefully it won't be in the way of anything.
Choose my
It's great.
You got a lot of it.
So,
Yeah, maybe they didn't even know it.
Does anybody
So
have
I
a
don't
name?
know
There is a
if it
little
is.
path.
Valley View. It says Valley View Court.
But something to look into, it's just something to look into. I think it would be nice to have a memorial placard for the
Yeah.
community.
It does look like that's sort of removed from O'Keefe though.
Yeah, like it's
So,
away from it.
does anybody know who takes care of that cemetery? It's not the city, I'm pretty sure it's
No,
not.
St.
the city.
Mary's does.
So St. Mary's takes care
Jerry
of that.
thinks the guy takes care of it.
Is it St. Mary's property?
Yeah,
Yeah,
So it's just like across the street, they own both sides.
well, they own, yeah, they own everything, like you can see that house down there, they own around that house. They own down to down almost to the corner.
They own,
They don't own the highlight.
they own Foxcroft and then Centennial Road, they own that
Yeah.
corner
Up to that point, yeah.
up to the house.
But then from that point, there isn't a 45-degree angle because there's still land on the other side.
Yeah, so Foxcroft, Centennial to 18.5 mile, they own that little parcel right there.
Yeah, right, and then
Behind
then you can see it goes around that house right there. I don't understand that.
Show me the.
And actually, where this line is, I mean, those memorials can be right there on that line of St. Mary's too, they don't.
Right.
So that was your topic A, and topic B was the trails. The parks and the connecting trails. Do you have a specific question? Because some of those questions aren't answered yet, some of them are.
No, it's just been brought to me, I mean, coming from Lansing, you know,
That's different.
it's a very different environment there, so I lived in the city, so I walked on the sidewalks, you know. Now I live in lovely Marshall, I wanna walk in the nature, and so when I talk to other people, they say that we have great trails, and there's great trails all around us, but in this little area, we don't connect to those other ones. And so there is a possibility that we could literally walk from coast to coast, from end to
And
end.
lake to
But we're
lake.
kind of the missing link
Sure.
right here.
Exactly, Marshall, our Calhoun County has not completed.
Right.
But it's finished up to Harper Creek area on one side and Albion on the other. So yeah, it's all
They come up,
hopefully going to come
Yeah.
together.
it's come up a bunch. I think every time I've.
And I mean, if we're, that would be,
Yeah,
to me,
we're all kind
that'd
of
be a
upset
great
about
tourism boost of, hey, you know, like get hiking groups, get scouts, get bike groups, get skaters that like, look, we can go coast to coast, state to state, you know, and make that really something from here.
We've had pretty active groups the last 10 or 15 years working in this area, so the Calhoun County Community, Calhoun County Trails Alliance, that's your local group, they work closely with Calhoun County Parks, that's Doug Farrell. Doug was the Parks Director, he's now the second to Kelly Scott as the County Administrator. They just hired a person who had worked with Ford. I'm not sure who that is, but she's the new Parks Director. So they're the ones that are really active with this. There's 5 major trails that are going to eventually come through Southwest Michigan. The one that's going to be the major east-west trail is the Great Trailway #1. That's going to connect South Haven with Fort Huron and Detroit.
Wow.
That's about 85 to 90% complete. The major gap is Marshall and our surrounding farmland. But there are other major trails too. So the Calhaven Trail comes in here, as well as the Kalamazoo Trailway. We also have the Iron Bridge Trail, which goes from Detroit up into the Upper Peninsula. But a branch of that's coming over to this area. That's been funded by Wilson out of Buffalo, who also works in Michigan. Michigan is the largest national trailway of any group in the United States. We have the most trailway miles, and that's because of a real active sponsorship by the Michigan Trail and Greenway Alliance, Michigan League of Bicyclists. There's 2 or 3 key areas in Lansing and Grand Rapids that do this. Meyer, well, Mr. Myers was still alive. He was a major person financing this. We also have a secondary thing that's starting to happen with Michigan river walks and river trails. So many of those parallel Michigan's land trails. So that's coming up. So Michigan's very, very active with this. I'm missing a couple trailways here
North Country and.
in North Country.
And what's the Native American name? I'm not thinking clearly today. It's got a name.
Yeah,
Chief Noonday?
Yes, Chief Noonday. Okay.
so that's the walking trail. And then Jackson, so all around us, Jackson's got great trails. Kalamazoo has great trails. Calhoun County actually has some really nice trails. Currently, it looks like our authority is going to be the county, Calhoun County, as the major authority doing this along with Calhoun CCTA, Calhoun County Trailway Alliance. So this is coming. If they could put trails away in, they would prefer to do off-road trailways. We can do on-road, we can plan for those, but those are dangerous. And families do not like to go on roadways.
And our railroad track's still in use.
Yeah.
Right. I walk on it.
You know, that helped a lot of places get it done.
And Kalamazoo was real active and they had to wait. So sometimes us being a gap like this is a matter of waiting. For many reasons, our farmers aren't real supportive of this and you can't blame them. But Kalamazoo faced the same thing and it was a matter of waiting. They waited an extra 10 or 15 years, were able to work with their farmers and got their trails through. So I think we're just one of the last places. And eventually it'll come. There's even coming into town, they haven't considered it. One of the most beautiful drives is Verona. And we haven't had plans for that. Yeah.
And then I could add a little, we're hoping that the Blue Oval has plans to donate the entire land along the Kalamazoo River behind the Blue River Factory, which will be, and the reason why Calhoun County is taking it is because they're giving that land to Calhoun County to put the trail through. And then, right now, Maida owns the Bear Creek property. And are you familiar with that is? So Bear Creek runs and lets out the Kalamazoo River, and that's also being planned to have a nature trail that runs from Bear Creek property to the Kalamazoo River. They're doing an archaeological survey of a possible Indian village, and we don't know if there's burial grounds. We'll have to wait and see. That's somewhere in that area. So there's some plans that should come in and loop in. They're hoping they're gonna get first for a railroad crossing on the west end of that property, and then somehow it would come through the city, I think on Hanover, is it Hanover?
Industrial, I thought they were, MDOT was gonna build a bridge across 69, right? A pedestrian.
Oh,
bridge.
that's right.
Yeah.
Yes,
And then they were
yeah,
gonna
it's
come out.
supposed to come through.
Yeah,
That's in the plans for MDOT when they redo all the exits over here is to give us some kind of walkway across. So, which it's all really early stages
I
of
see people
planning.
walk across that bridge all the time now, like I never noticed it until we started talking about it, now I noticed, like I thought, it was 8 people walking across the bridge, all in a group.
Wow.
No,
And it's day, it's morning and night.
Yeah.
There's people always on that
Yeah.
bridge.
Yep. No,
The next thing then would be Ian Campbell will will update us on MACC and tomorrow's meeting. With you, Fred.
Yeah, I am, thank you.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, so, hi, everybody, my name is Ian Campbell, I'm the chairperson for, Marshall Area Conservation Committee. Newly reformed group, that has a lot of the same concerns that, you bring up. So we're actually gonna be back in this room tomorrow night at 6:30. And, if you can't make it, there is an option to attend online through, Google Meet. So, that was sent out in an email, but if you didn't get that, just talk to me before you leave. Spread the word. If you got the email, I believe I saw it on Facebook as well, and I shared it. We're gonna be talking about the future of the MAC. We have a tree planting event coming up. Ford is funding, tree planting through the city of Marshall, so we've been tasked with coordinating that in tandem with the city. So on April 26th, there will be a tree planting event. We're looking for volunteers and people who are eager to help out with that. So there'll be information about that, and then also a river cleanup event and a kayaking event in the fall. The river cleanup being in the springtime. And just kind of an open floor for people to say what they think, or maybe things that we should get involved in, so anybody's welcome to come.
And Marguerite asked me before she left today too, if anybody has ideas of where to plant some of these trees. We're open ears for that.
Okay. Okay, I guess that's everything then. Let's see what else is out here. Do you have a rec report for it?
Rec report, just gonna go over some stuff we've been up to. We have some new programs. Drew, our rec coordinators, have been picking up some programs that have been very successful. The newest one being Tumble Tots that we just offered. It's basically for 3 to 5 year olds, and it is gymnastics, dance, tumbling, just basic stuff for 3 to 5 year olds. We put that out last week and we have 20 kids signed up for it. We're full, pretty much. So, pretty cool to see people jumping on some of these programs. We also did little cheerleaders this fall, December. Once again, we had 33 kids in that. It was just crazy how people are all of a sudden going, those are the ones we want. We started a pickleball league. We barely advertised for that and it filled up before we really got a chance to get everything out. We had 14 teams. We're doing that on Sundays at the middle school.
I thought it was at Hughes School. No?
That they do on Tuesdays and Thursdays and then Mondays, Wednesday at Walters.
My wife and I tried to sign up, but we were too late. It was
Yeah.
full.
So we will be running another, once this league finishes up, we're gonna run a 5-week league, I believe.
How many nets do you have up?
5. The biggest issue we've had is the floor at the middle school is in just dire straight. Whoever did the last wax job on that, I mean,
It's just.
it's peeling off. It's the most slippery surface. But
Well, that's basically all the grime. You know,
Yeah.
if you wet mop it, then there's.
we bought the biggest slippers we can buy.
Yeah.
Just
But you gotta actually, when I was coaching basketball, my guys were slipping, so I didn't get there early and I would just wet mop.
well, that's
And
yeah.
then you start hearing stinking.
Right.
It
So I'm thinking about building my own.
was like skating.
Is there a water in that?
There used to be,
Yeah, I'd like to
there
see.
used to be. That's
I'd
why I
like to
fill
get
my bucket
some
up.
towels
Yeah,
and put it on a
yeah.
2x4 and walk the gym at least and let it down a little bit. But I'm starting to lose volleyball teams because they're like, we're flipping too much, it's not safe, it's not
Yeah.
fun. Basketball teams are like, we play at the middle school and at Walters, and guys, when they see the schedule says the middle school, it's the worst.
Yeah.
So it's unfortunate, I can't do much about it. We're fortunate to be able to use the schools a lot. And I'm sure they're aware, I mean, they have teams in there all the time of their own, so, but floor tape is meant for floors, it shouldn't be pulling up.
Yeah.
And it's starting to pull up the wax on it, so.
How
it's
big is the travel basketball? There's a lot of basketball kids.
Not my program.
Oh, that's not for you?
We used to be affiliated with it, and then they went on, they wanted more,
Oh,
they wanted to be more. They wanted to be able to cut kids, but I would say,
be what?
they wanted to be able to cut.
Oh,
Like
yeah.
make cuts, and
Yeah,
that's not the right way. So, and what we're doing, we also do run a basketball league. And I think we had 120 kids in it this year, K through
Mhm.
4th grade, K through 5th grade. And floor hockey, our numbers are bigger than they've been in 5 years. We have 170 kids in that program, and
You had basketball for under,
we have 3 to 5 year old basketball too, and that's a clinic style program, Little Hoopsters, and we had, I think, upwards of 60 kids in that program.
my son loved it, so.
Did it good. Yeah, our there's a place for travel, but rec sports are still growing. Around here they are. Our numbers are pretty much better than they've ever been. I've been here for 20 years, and it's
I can tell you, like, from talking to other parents that are my age, there's less and less people who want to do travel sports.
but the peer pressure gets you into because you want your kid to not be left behind.
So I feel like if it's a good alternative,
Would
a
you-
strong rec program, I feel like that's why you're seeing numbers. go up.
Yeah, and I mean, sometimes we question, like, should it be a little more strict? But we're pretty laid back on a lot of our rules, a lot of stuff. We just want kids, too many kids are sitting around doing nothing. Just get out and play with your friends.
I've thought of that a little bit. I think if we offered 2, if we have enough numbers, said, hey, here's a competitive one, here's the, just trying to get out and enjoy some time with other kids.
Sure,
And then have a more competitive league.
yes, but there is that option through Marshall Junior Basketball. That's where we're like, we are this and they are that, and it's a fine line of when we start getting more competitive. But with like baseball, I do offer a travel team. There's no cuts involved, it's the first 12 kids that sign up, you're on a travel team and they play against other rec teams, Hillsdale, Homer, Concord. So that's, we could look at doing something like that. We also get into gym space.
I'm telling you, that travel baseball was really a good program.
Yeah,
Sebastian my grandson was runner up.
yeah, right, that team, I think I'm allowing them to stick together again this year if they wanna bump up to 12U. Because when I started those, I was like, there is a spot, people do like travel, but they don't wanna commit $1,000 to a summer. Our league costs,
For a summer.
yeah,
And I feel like the travel you're talking about is not the same travel as the ones that are driving to Indiana.
right, very, it's,
Yeah, like
it's
they're
very
No,
big.
it wasn't
Ohio
that.
and
It
Illinois.
was,
Yeah, no, that's,
Frankfort, Hillsdale.
yeah.
I don't even really consider that a travel team.
No, it's a rec team, but they get the travel feel. They
But it was.
get a little
It
bit
was
nicer
good.
jerseys.
Well, I'm not saying it's not competitive, but I'm saying like some of these travel teams are getting like crazy, like.
Oh,
some of
yeah.
them Go down to like Florida.
Sure.
Yeah.
Right.
I was like,
Yeah, absolutely,
who's got
and that's what
budget for that?
And from my standpoint, being a former coach, you see a lot of these kids that play early in travel and early in this. And by the time they get to high school, they don't wanna do it.
And it's even to get to middle school level.
That's what you're
They're,
worried about.
they're struggling to fill teams, basketball teams, that's 10 kids.
Yeah.
They're struggling to fill those because if you're not a starter when you're playing travel ball, you're done by the time you're in seventh grade, you're not a starter.
Which is sad.
It's super sad. So there is a really good place for recreation still, and it's good to see that. And I think parents like, me as a parent, I like short seasons where you're not committing your whole entire summer, your whole entire winter to take kids to practice every day.
Yeah.
Ours are all of our programs are 6 weeks, no more than 6 weeks long.
Yeah.
And you know what you're getting. You're getting 2 practices, 4 games for the most part. Baseball is a couple more practices and 2 more games. So it works. As of right now, if we need to change it, we'll change it in the future.
Hey, speaking of baseball. Between, what is that? Field 2 and 3, I think it is, not the one by the other side. Is there a chance we could put a porta potty on there?
Maybe
Because.
we're gonna have
That's a long walk.
we're gonna have a new bathroom complex at the splash pad.
Yeah,
That's way farther.
yeah. Because like with me with kids, I'm like having to be like, all right, we've got to get all
Yeah.
the way over to that. Or I try to have them take a bushweed.
Oh,
and
I'm
that's
sure,
it.
and I'm sure that my volleyball players would love having the court John a little bit closer too. Yes,
Okay.
there's a possibility, no, there's
that was
a
something like-
possibility.
Tricked my brain.
No,
I think that's a good idea. 'Cause
I worry about
we're
court John
spending summer
because
down there.
Yeah, well, I get that, but.
we can try it.
In the summertime, like you got softball going on, you got your T-ball going on.
Sure, oh, it's busy.
Yeah, it's
And
busy.
we have- So. Yep, I'll definitely look into, I'll get a cost, I'll see what it's gonna cost and see if we can try it out during our week, I mean, it's really 6 weeks, right?
That's it,
You
yeah.
know, that's good, yeah. We have our daddy-daughter dance coming up here, March 15th. This is the first time, I think, no, in my career, we're doing it on a Saturday, 6:30 to 8:30.
Of March.
Yes, I would prefer to do it keep it on a Friday. But the school couldn't guarantee us a Friday because of basketball, because if they get to, well, yeah, one of them, we couldn't get in there, so.
Have you started registration yet?
Yeah, we have 190 kids signed up as of today.
Candyland theme. We gotta figure out what to wear.
When is that?
When is it? March 15th,
And where?
at the high school.
All right,
6:30 to 8:30.
we're on our second generation doing it. Crap.
This is the first year, my daughter outgrew it last year, so she wants to come back.
What grade was it? Is it
5th grade through 5th grade.
2/5?
Or we do 6th grade. We've switched it a few times. I think it's 5th grade because that's when they get out of elementary school. Yes.
Yeah, makes sense.
Then our mother-son activity night will be on April 25th. That's at the middle school. That's a Friday night. We'll have a bounce house there and games for them to play. Last year we had 150 kids in that one, couples.
What's the age on that?
That is same, it's K through. 10. Our daddy-daughter dance typically gets 360 couples for that, so it's still a very popular event in this town.
It is packed. It is jam packed.
Yep. A lot of girls dancing.
As a change,
Are we
because
following the
I'll take my
father,
daughter,
son,
and she would go.
No.
We talked about it.
And I would see her.
dads.
We talked about doing a father-son kayaking trip.
Well, that'd be cool.
A few years, but I didn't know.
And our canoes or whatever else, it'd be a 2-hour long type of thing, go and have hot dogs at the end or something pretty basic, or
That'd be kind of cool.
and that could be father-daughter, father-son, whatever. If you do family events, they typically don't work.
Yeah, someone used to say.
Yeah,
Not
so,
everybody wants to go.
right, but yes, kicked around doing a father-son, Tigers game. We used to do those, years ago, but cost of buses have went up so much. We are taking registrations for our,
Would it be too much risk involved in renting like the Sprinter vans?
I don't know,
Those are pretty affordable.
yeah, I don't know, it's something we can look into.
Figure you get 2 or 3 of those.
Well, the school
Yes,
has,
the bus.
school has 3 of them. I mean, it just, be getting there, getting somebody to drive.
We could just pay one of the bus drivers to drive.
It's-
Well, that's what I was kind of thinking.
I have a chauffeur's.
Sure.
This man will drive us around. That's all.
I don't even wear the
For free
hat.
on video,
Yeah.
for free. Said for free.
You get free ticket. We have our Mackinac Island Grand Hotel trip that we are taking reservations for. However, I think we have one room left. The Grand Hotel is, and that's for, people 50 and over. It is, they stay at the Grand Hotel. This year it's September 28th through October 1st. The Grand Hotel is under new ownership over the last 3 years, and they keep cutting our rooms. They cut them we got 4 rooms this year, I think, 3 or 4 rooms. So, but we're almost full. We have 1 room left, and it's, I think,
How much is that?
it is, if you live in town, it's $11.25 per person. If you live outside of town, it's $1,200 per person.
Why do they keep cutting the rooms? I'm just curious, like.
But they can probably figure out they can make more money getting
Yeah.
anybody instead of partnering with M-Parks. But it's a great trip. I say it's a great trip. I haven't been on that trip this year.
What's the date?
That's September 28th through October 1st.
Nice time of year.
Last year we went at the end of October. And we lucked out and had nice weather. And it keeps fluctuating. We got the first trip this year. It cost a little bit more. But we got the first trip this year.
You know our website, so.
Okay, are we moving on to park report? Do you have one?
Just Croton Millrace Pavilion, the fireplace down there has been a struggle this winter. Between, we think we have homeless people down there here and there, and it's just not working. You know, some days you'll drive by and it's on all day long. And there's other days you can't get it to turn on.
Is it not on timer?
It's on a timer.
The timer's broke.
Yeah, well, we had him go down and look at it, and we're like, it's working fine. We're gonna clean a bunch of stuff off, it's working fine.
Yeah.
It's a 60-minute timer, which is not right. So this year, I wanna get a push button timer, where you push the button,
Yeah,
it pops back out, and it goes 15 minutes. If you want it more, push it back in.
Like a jet pool or whatever.
Exactly, yep, but something you can't really, something that's flat to the surface, so you can't fry it or anything like that, because we have, I don't know if people are wedging something in there. So because the timer just goes, it's a twist one.
No,
And so, you know, and so it's easy to manipulate. But it's costing us money. I mean, the bill down there the last 3 months, not cheap, it's about $800 to $1,000 a month. So we're looking at ways to,
It's a nice thing.
it's a great thing. We rent that thing quite often throughout the summer, spring and summer.
It could be a thing in which you only get to use it when it's rented. We could go out there and turn it on.
But I think when it was built or something, there was an agreement that said it would be open to the public all the time.
Right.
I don't remember.
For fire being on, that's.
Just having the
The
option.
city decided to do that.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
something we can, but I agree, that thing's been a pain this winter, a lot of people calling in saying it's not working. I go down there and push the button or turn the thing and it pops out. Or I'll go down there, someone said it's been running all night and I go down there, I can't get it to turn on. So it's
Probably like damaging.
probably.
Where's
Right.
there an override timer that can be put on if you can't go on past a certain time throughout the year?
Yes, that's
Like in governor.
right,
So it's-
yeah, I'll look into that too. I'll
Yeah,
have
if it
somebody,
went up to like 10
Yeah.
Yeah.
or
7.
at dusk, I mean, our parks are supposed to close at dusk.
Yeah.
So,
so in the summer it'd be late.
I'd say just shut up. You know, I don't think I need anybody at the park at 10 o'clock roasting marshmallows and with a fire on the summertime.
you're gonna struggle roasting a marshmallow on that fire, you can't get your stick.
No, you could.
Might get a little, one of those baby ones. So that's been one thing, let's see. Trees at the skate park that we planted for waterways days, those 2 rows of trees. We're gonna look at some point in time replanting those somewhere else, if it's not a great spot for them, that's where. Matt will come in and just ideas of where we can put those trees. It was one of those things where Rotary wanted to put trees in, they wanted to put 100 trees in. And it was in a short window of time and we said, we'll put them here for now, kind of use it as a nursery, you say?
More or less, yeah.
And we'll be able to transplant those elsewhere.
Yeah, that was the plan.
Yeah.
It was all kind of last minute.
Right, so we got the trees up,
Hectic.
yeah, So we'll have, hopefully we can replant those here and there. And,
We've got cages on those,
Yeah.
because the deer got right in there, and that was the only way we could keep them while you guys decide what you wanted to do.
Right, so, that's, other than that, so speaking of waterways days, which we did back in the, fall. I'm guessing we're gonna wanna try doing something along those lines again this year, just to keep that going with Rotary. So I don't know if that's something Mac wants to be involved with, I don't know, it's just gonna be one of those things where, we talk to Rotary, I know they're gonna wanna be offloading it a bit. Once they go, so.
That sounds good.
So
I'm sure there's plenty of people interested.
Right, so we'll just have to coordinate on.
I'll talk to Michael, thank you.
And it might be something you'll speak to Rotary,
Absolutely.
they do that. They're
Tuesday,
usually pretty,
Tuesday.
right, yep. Other than that for parks, just, a lot going on with parks, we did the luminary walk with Brooks Nature Area 2 weekends ago. Man, my wife and I went out there and it was very cool, it was cold out that night, but not too cold, and what'd you say, 40, 50 people
Yeah, that's
out
what
there,
they,
so.
It was about 40.
40, yeah, so, not a bad turnout.
That's pretty good for as cold as it
Yeah.
was.
yeah.
So, and that was the night before the storm or something, or something like that, where
Yeah.
we were supposed to have a storm, but it was nice.
There's a little bit of snow out there, so
Yeah.
it was a perfect night if you can handle cold.
Yep, so it was
Yeah.
nice out there.
We didn't have, there wouldn't have been a lot of traffic problems, which was, I think, really good.
Yeah, yep.
Because if we had, what they had in the first year, 150 people. You get worried about the parking along the edge there.
I could see that program expanding a little bit in the future.
I agree, and I think with you guys clearing up that other
Yeah.
parking lot, we didn't have any issue, we got a lot more people.
Yeah, and I think my wife and I were talking about it, about maybe having a little bonfire at the end.
Oh,
Or
yeah,
something like that, just for people to warm up, or
I like
like have some, get some cider going or something.
I like it.
So we can talk about
The
that.
north parking lot can be expanded to the west little, so
Yeah,
when it was.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And we'd use those for summer events. We could get 4 rows of.
Yeah, yeah.
25 to 30 cars at least per row. And do it safely, so. Got our folks that do the grass cutting.
Yeah.
And they're really good.
yeah, that's a
So
brush
I
hog
can-
that.
There's been some small trees start to filter in there. But just lopers will be able to take those down. So.
That's all I have for Parks and Rec.
Anything for cemeteries?
Nothing for cemetery. Phil has something he's working on. He said he'll have that for the next meeting.
Okay.
Yeah, to talk to Ian about tomorrow, Ian, on the trees and stuff. Whatever you guys wanna do. But we have a lot of parks that really can take trees and shrubs as we need to. And Natalie made the good point, we don't have to go crazy. Even 20 to 40, we probably can comfortably do. If we don't wanna do neighborhoods, we certainly can do our parks, and
Yes.
we have a lot of places we can suggest.
I think so too, and from what I get from Ian, he said that 40 trees is kind of what he was thinking. And
we can do
also,
that pretty easily.
he was talking to the city about accessing the GIS to see where we had taken down trees. And then maybe those would be some good opportunities to fill in some gaps.
And I think the city put out a bid for stump grinding, so we'll have an idea of where we'll have stump grinding going on, so we'll have.
And the city put out a survey for people who might want to.
Yes,
Right, so we
on the
can
website.
website that list as well, but phased approach to the tree planting for sure.
And we'll talk about that more.
More to come tomorrow.
Will we be meeting again then?
Not next month's following, so April. So fourth Tuesday in April.
For the programs that we're doing, like so the football, the basketball, all that stuff, the tumble tots, are we taking any of that money and putting it toward funding new projects, or is it all of it just to cover the cost?
To cover the cost, we are putting money away. The last couple of years, I've been able to put it into the rec fund. And that will go towards, I have some CIP projects such as the sand volleyball courts. We'll get a big chunk of that. I wanna use a lot of those funds as matching dollars for grants. That'll be the the infields, down the ball fields will need to be redone, regraded, new fencing put up, the parking lot down there. That's all rec owned, so that's where all those dollars go. They don't go toward the parks because parks and rec are two different departments. The city has the millage, the recreation millage, so all that.
I was just curious, like,
Yeah.
how much of those programs, like, if I'm looking at $25 City of Marshall residents. For the tumble tots one, like, it's like $5 that going towards, like, putting aside for new projects, or is that?
It's not per program, it's at the end of the year. I mean, this year, I think I'm putting. As right now, the budget's not completely done, about $20,000 I'm budgeting to go into the rec fund. The rec fund got down to about,
From these,
yeah, everything's program based, yeah. Our rec fund during COVID got down to about, I think, $70,000. That's our rainy day fund. It's up to about, after this year, should be around 400,000. So the last few years have been well. The reason it's been well is years ago, we used to have 4 full-time staff. We're doing all this now with more programs with 2 full-time staff. With that, I'm looking at hopefully this year getting another full-time rec person.
I was gonna ask about that, so like, when you're getting, so like my son was in basketball, there's 2 young ladies who's running that.
Yep.
Are they just being paid an hourly wage part?
So Drew, blonde, she's full-time. She's my programmer.
Okay,
So she does a lot of my little programs. The programs pretty much 80% of all our programs and hire site supervisors for that. The other blonde that was in that program, I believe, Carly. It might have been Carly. She's just a part-time like contracted employee, hourly rate. So I'm hoping to get another full-time coordinator.
we have 2 right now,
I have 1 coordinator right now. Just Drew, myself.
just
and
you
Drew.
and Drew.
Yeah, and I program adult sports. Which I'd like to be done with at some point in time, and to be able to add more programs, I've pretty much maxed her out, she's doing what 2 people used to do. And we used to never have site supervisors, the rec coordinator would be the site supervisor. And so there'd be at adult basketball 2 nights a week, at adult volleyball 2 nights a week, there would be a lot of late nights. I can pay somebody $12 an hour to go watch adults and stuff, if they're not instructing, I don't really need a full-time person down there for the most part. So that's worked out well for us, but to add any more programming, we're gonna have to hire somebody else.
How do you find those part-time people who,
How do we find them?
yeah, like $12 go watch volleyball?
Typically through kids that volunteer through us, through the National Honor Society, they'll start volunteering, or a parent knows us because they came up through the program, so like, when Johnny gets to be 13, can he come referee floor hockey? Like, absolutely, they do a good job with that, then they move on to a supervisory role, if we can. And like a referee gets paid $11 a game, a site supervisor is $12 an hour. So it's not much, but with the new minimum wage increase, we'll be bumping everybody up a little bit.
Will we also be affected by the new PTO stuff?
A little bit. I don't have that many,
Okay.
like that'll be more parks. I don't have too many rec people.
I wasn't sure if like 13-year-old kid was gonna get PTO.
No, I don't, I have a webinar I need to watch on that a little bit, just so I understand it a little bit better, but I don't. So,
Yeah, I think it was like 30 hours in.
yeah, we don't have anywhere near that. That's just my summer staff.
Fine. Is there any, like, the concession stand at the ballpark, is there a reason that it's like never ever used other than like,
It doesn't make money.
oh, okay,
It costs money. It's, again, it's the same point with the bathrooms.
right,
To walk all the way over there,
right,
to get something to walk all the way back, the game's half over.
yeah,
And it's, our games typically last an hour.
right,
So we've had, throughout the years, I've had a lot of people, a lot of concession people come through there. And after one season, like, we just didn't broke even or didn't make enough to make it worth our time.
Have you thought about just asking volunteers that?
If I could hire somebody new, maybe, so they can have time to do that, because volunteers are,
Like manage volunteers?
yeah, right. I mean, we could work with like Kiwanis clubs and Exchange Club to come and do that stuff, is that what you're thinking?
Well, no, I was kind of thinking, I feel like if I remember from way back in the day, going to Wallace Park games, like my dad had to sign up because we were playing to.
Oh, yeah.
And so then when I was playing, they'd kind of tap him out and he'd go watch me play, and then if he had more to do, then he'd come back.
Yeah, that's something we can look
And would rotate.
We really struggle to find people to coach.
Well, this is just dad, this is kind of a way for them to contribute without actually coaching.
Yeah.
So like you just have dads that would come like a game early.
Yeah,
They, the
maybe.
kid would watch a game and like you helped.
My concession idea is that we have a gator down there. And is to throw
And ride
stuff in a
around.
cooler, have your basic snacks, your packaged snacks, so you don't really need that. All you need is a peddler's license, I think. You don't need the.
Carton girl.
Basically, yes. And just have waters and Gatorades and
If
kids'
When
favorite
they
stuff.
built that, I thought that's not gonna be convenient because everybody else out there has to come.
Correct.
Yeah,
And like-
all the home base.
100%
Whole plate was
Pointed
there.
in towards
Yeah.
there,
The
yeah.
stands would be there,
Gangbusters.
which is kind of like how Bailey Park was set up.
Yeah.
And cold water.
They go,
Yeah.
If you open a concession stand, you gotta have somebody buying supplies, somebody's.
Yep.
Yeah, there's a lot of work
You gotta meet
involved.
health standards too, don't
Yeah.
you?
If you're,
It's a lot more than just giving an
Yeah.
hour of your time to sell. Somebody's gotta
Yep.
buy everything and. keep it
however,
fresh.
yeah, but however, like some of these, Marshall Junior Basketball, I believe, runs a concession every week. But I think they go under the schools,
probably.
food stuff, so, yeah, I don't. It's,
Yeah, I didn't mean.
no,
for us
no,
to,
that's, it's a question I get asked every year.
That's all right.
Food trucks are another option we're gonna
That's
possibly
a good
look
idea.
at,
Yeah.
and just having a food truck down there
Yeah,
for.
especially once the splash pad's done, then you got
Yeah,
the splash pad and the ballpark.
Yeah.
I was just
Pretty
talking
hot
to the owner,
place.
cooking with beans, you seen that one around?
Yeah.
It's a taco food truck.
Yeah, the little tiny taco.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I know, you look right down, you look.
I was just talking to him. the other day.
What's his name?
I met him that night, I kinda forget what it is. You know what his name is?
I don't know what his name is, no.
We live by, yeah, he lives right there on Mansion at Linden.
Yeah,
I figured it out, but
Yeah, it's not like that.
he was saying he was getting harassed by the city because they want to have her every single spot he stops in. It's like, that's just not feasible.
No, it's not.
No, it's not, then,
Under board reports, the only thing that I have is that our next meeting would be the 22nd. The next NAC meeting will be the 23rd, and the tree planting for the city of Marshall will be the 26th. So you could get more details on that tree planting on that date.
You said next meeting was 22nd?
It's the 22nd, Tuesday, the 22nd at 5:30.
April.
April 22nd, I'm sorry. We're skipping a month ahead.
Yeah, if I knew that.
Anything else for the board reports? It's all right if we adjourn?
So
All right.
Nice to see you, buddy.
Thank you, everybody.
Then you have contact information.
I heard you.
You gotta fill hot spots.
Your turn of volleyball.
Oh,
Oh, stop it for me. It did go on.
I don't know what's Saturday, I got painted, I didn't
No,
know
I
the same, yeah.
I'm trying to find my.
Down here.